You're listening to May the Forbes Be With You with Ethan Detmeyer and Derek Forbes, right here on LA Talk Radio.
May the Forbes be with you. There you are. Forbes is back. How are you doing?
It's Forbes, welcome back. It's just a circle of goodness on today's program.
I only bring quality guests. You know what I mean?
I agree. It is a day of quality guests.
You do as well.
All right.
No problem.
So Peter's let it out of the bag. You're going to be playing tonight. What can the audience expect out of you, Derek?
They can expect an acoustic bass for a start, which I think I've only played an acoustic bass maybe once. I counted in one hand. I think once we did it in Hamburg with XSM just recently. It was great fun, but that's what we're doing. We've got drums playing. That's about the loudest thing there, but everything else is acoustic. And we'll be doing a lot of, alarm stuff and a lot of big country stuff, and maybe a couple of Simple Minds tracks in there as well. But I think the boys have got other songs they're going to play. Everyone's going to get a turn to, entertain on their own or whatever. So I might do a few songs myself. I know that Mike's going to do a solo set as well. So it'll be a long night.
My memory may not be too good, but I think when we came out to do that charity show for the City of Hope up at Universal that turned into the MTV Awards post party, that combat radio stunt we did, I think we were clamoring to find you an acoustic bass then, and we couldn't get our hands on one. Am I remembering that right?
Well, we were trying to get me I remember I was going to buy a bass, and we were trying to get a deal with a guy across the road.
Oh yeah,
and the Guitar Center. Internet didn't happen.
They may not cut a deal that day, but I want to actually point out the Guitar Center, that particular Guitar Center, stepped up when we did our thing for the Super Bowl for the Children's Hospital. They jumped up and donated a guitar to be autographed that day. So there was no deal to be made on your acoustic bass, but they hands down stepped up for charity on a later date. So props to those guys. That was the event. That's the event Tom was instrumental in. That's the event that Robbie Krieger played for us with the San Diego Charger cheerleaders.
Anytime you mention cheerleaders brings me into any event.
That's the key, everybody. Everyone who's listening, if you're putting together an event, book the cheerleaders first, and then go about getting your musical entertainment. That's the secret.
Yes, it's always easy to help cheerleaders out. I like events that help cheerleaders.
It's not about combat radio or May the Forbes Be With You radio or anything like that. It's about the cheerleaders, and then all of a sudden we can all come together and do some good.
Yeah, that's not a chore to watch cheerleaders.
No, it's not. Let's get down to business on something very, very important. Rumor has it, and I think it's more than just a rumor. A good friend of ours, Mick McNeil, and McGee, former players with Simple Minds, and yourself have got together and have recorded a new album. Yeah,
we're in the process of finishing it off. We're going to go to Holland for maybe 3 weeks or something, 4 weeks.
That's excellent news.
Yeah, no, that is excellent news. And if it wasn't for Jimmy Page right now, we'd be playing it on today's show, but he's holding us up.
So everyone, you need to realize, I said on the Facebook and all the sites that we were going to have a surprise, but the surprise will need to be next week because Mr. Jimmy Page is holding us up. We're going to master a track and we're going to play it tonight, but we can't do it. We can't register it with iTunes and stuff until it's mastered, so we're just being cautious.
Well, far be it from me to criticize the former members of Led Zeppelin, but Jimmy's got to get on it. Come on, Jimmy. Let me call him up real quick. Can I just go to a music break and get Jimmy on the phone and say, Jimmy, what's the hold up? We're waiting for this XSM. So what else is going on over there, man? What else you have for us lined up?
I'm basically talking to record companies and stuff. Hopefully Tom knows some people over there as well, so we can pass this stuff around.
Absolutely. In fact, I think that if you want to, have a conversation off the radio about this, I think that one or two phone calls could be done, and I think you could have a deal in one or two phone calls, as far as I'm concerned.
Brilliant. Have you heard it, Tom? Did you hear the track?
I have not, but I'm looking forward to hearing it. And on top of it, I think that everything you've ever created has been of quality. I think it's to take a business a term, it's a great brand name. I think you have a constant following, amazing back catalog, and so I don't see why there wouldn't be an engagement for this to have great physical product, maybe make some vinyl would be great.
I know, yeah. That's what we're hoping for anyway.
Yeah.
Everything's free with the three of us, publishing, recording, so that's all kind of went away. I mean, obviously the older stuff stays the same, but for this new stuff, it's completely free.
That's awesome.
I told you, Derek, yesterday when we spoke that Tom Vittorino is a class act, and he'd at least hear you out and see if there's something he can do.
Did I pay you or something this morning?
No, you didn't, but you can. And I told you he would at least hear you. You know, he's a sharp guy, and I knew he'd at least hear it out. I have not had a chance to play the track for him because I stumbled in late, and he was even later. And even later than the two of us is the captain of lateness, the man who is Billy D. Williams approved, but not one to show up on time, director, producer, Phil Leirinus. Phil's joining us, Derek. Say hello, Mr. Derek Forbes.
Hello, Derek. It's part of that rock and roll lifestyle. I mean, you can't be on time or early, can you?
No, that's it. No, you've got to be fashionably late.
Axl Rose couldn't have said it better, and look where that got him.
And I am both fashionable and late. Am I not? I am so late that actually you could consider me early.
Actually, yeah, in L.A. you're on time.
You're early for next week.
Yes, I was going to say, he's so early for next week's show, he's not even late. The time-space continuum. He's got his own radio shirt on. We should point out that Phil Leirinus also hosts with Dean Haglund of the X-Files, the stellar Chill Pack Hollywood Hour, a show we did a live broadcast from Disneyland, all comedy aside. It was hilarious.
We did not leave all comedy aside, actually. It was pretty much all comedy on deck all the time.
You haven't lived, Derek, and you and I, we did a contest where we went down to Disneyland for a day when you were in town from Scotland, but you haven't lived until you sat in the Lincoln attraction at Disneyland next to the X-Files Dean Haglund and let him revoice it with what he thinks you should hear out of the animatronic mannequin's mouth.
I remember our trip to Disneyland, and you and I sat in one of those little boats that flew over London, and the Peter Pan ride, and the face.
I think
the two of us were sitting there with a bit of a smile on our face, and Lota was killing herself laughing, as was Sean, your daughter.
Somehow we got matched up for Peter Pan, and it's not the ride you want to be seen riding with another grown man, but we pulled it off with some style, I think.
Yes, we did. We held our dignity.
You know, you just have to let things go at Disneyland. We put a lot of time there. They've invented a drink based on our radio show there. We have a good relationship with them, and hey, things happen. It's Disney for you.
Yeah.
As imperialistic or as a bastion of cultural imperialism as Haglund would make you think it would. Did I step on your line?
No, this is the thing. In having listened to our show from Disneyland, that's the thing that kind of surprised me the most was, the obvious parallel between the Lincoln exhibit and Westworld, where the robots go nuts and start killing people. That was Dean's big fear, that Lincoln was about to just come into the audience and kill us all. But in fact, in keeping with Lincoln, if Robot Lincoln had started acting on its own initiative, it would have been acting to free all of us who are slaves of Disney's cultural imperialism.
Right.
Man, that's deep for 10, 25.
Yeah, that is very philosophical for this time in the morning.
This is what I do. I spend I spend the time when I'm supposed to be on air writing old material.
I ride the bus late to the studio, and I scratch down some very, very philosophical thoughts, and I walk in sounding like a genius because Ethan can't find anything first thing in the morning, and there you have it.
I nudge awake the meth addict who's drooling on my shoulder, and I say, "How does this sound to you?"
You've just come out of a meth trailer. Let me read this off to you. I got some production notes for today's show.
That's really the big thing. The difference between being in line or on one of these crowded rides at Disneyland versus being on a Los Angeles public bus. The one major difference is just that there are a few more meth addicts on the buses. A few.
Yeah, just a few.
But in terms of the nausea and the unexpected starts and stops and the speeding and the hills and going side to side and needing Dramamine, all of it's the same.
All right. Oh. See, this is what we were missing when Phil doesn't make it on time. And he's not going to go on double secret probation today because he was on double secret probation last week. And there is no punishment past double secret probation, triple secret probation.
I'm also 9 minutes less late than I was last week. So,
right.
By next year, I'm going to be right on time.
Thank you.
When you bring the term Robot Lincoln to the table, all forgiveness.
Yeah, Robot Lincoln.
Well, and again, as we talked about in that show, the most important thing probably about Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln is that it's proof that if Mitt Romney is elected, he would in fact not be our first robot president. So
And this
Anything?
political commentary is brought to you
Too soon?
Yeah, brought to you by Mr. Phil Leirinus.
You jumped over Gerald Ford.
You forgot Gerald.
I thought he was alive but unconscious. I thought that was the
like Walt Disney is Frozen. We covered that in that broadcast too.
Yeah, he only loosened up when falling. That's
If you want to hear what Phil's actually talking about, go to chillpackhollywoodhour.com and you'll see
no
the
hour,
show.
just chillpackhollywood.com.
Or chillpackhollywood.com. You can't miss it. It's Chillpack. Just put Chillpack in and a bunch of Chillpackness comes up. And you'll hear the show we did live from Disneyland. It is, hilarious. I want props to you real quick, and I want to get back to Derek, but props to you for editing out some of the, the hilarity that probably was not suitable for general audiences.
It was a challenging edit. It really was. Because sometimes your favorite stuff can't make the final cut.
No, that's true. It's true.
You're listening to May the Forbes Be With You with Ethan Detmeyer and Derek Forbes, right here on LA Talk Radio.